Hey everyone. Who wants to talk about politics? Too bad. I feel like talking about politics. Anyway, the other day I went ahead and early voted for Elizabeth Warren because I think she should be the next president. But as always, I gotta say, if Bernie Sanders wins the nomination, then I'll be behind him 100%. And it's important to keep in mind here that the Democratic primary it works different than the Republican primary. Pardon me. The Democrats use a proportional delegate system, while the Republicans do a winner-take-all system. And if you don't know what that means, back 4 years ago, if Trump were to win Iowa, that means he gets all the delegates. He gets everything. But if when Bernie Sanders wins Iowa, that means he gets like 26, and Pete Buttigieg gets 25. It's practically a tie in delegates. So so far Bernie Sanders has done way better than I thought he would, and he's won practically every primary so far, and that's very impressive. But that does not mean at this point that it's impossible for someone else to beat him. I mean, it can happen. When it comes to Bernie Sanders, I completely understand the pro-Bernie people and the anti-Bernie people, because there's no doubt that the rest of the Democratic Party, the DNC, they don't want Sanders to be the nominee. But I don't know why, because there's two answers to that question. If you ask the pro-Bernie people, they don't want him to be the nominee because he's too awesome, because he's the one honest candidate who will do what he promises. He will clean up the corporate culture. He'll turn the Democratic Party into what it should be. They don't want him to be the nominee because he's too good. And I guess maybe that's true. I don't know. But there's another side to it. The side that says they honestly don't want him to be the nominee because they think he'll lose. And that is also very possible. Not many people today remember George McGovern. I mean, I'm too young to remember George McGovern, but when people think about Bernie Sanders becoming the nominee, they think of McGovern. They think that if they nominate just a fire-breathing liberal who wants to redistribute wealth and increase social welfare and universal health care and all that, that they're going to get wiped out just like George McGovern did. George McGovern got wiped out in 1972. And it's frustrating because I completely agree with the Bernie people that most Americans probably would like more social democracy. Democratic socialism. Americans probably would like democratic socialism if they actually got it. It's impossible to get, because this is America, and no one's been able to figure out how to sell democratic socialism to the American public. The GOP they're too good at scaring people. If you're living on the street in a fucking cardboard box, and the Democrats say they want to, build you a house, then the Republicans are going to say, hey, you better watch out. The Democrats are going to take your box away. And the guy living in the box says, no, not my box. God damn, them Democrats gonna take my box away. That's basically what happens all the time. I mean, we're Americans here. We're the most contrary people on the face of the earth. Back in the 90s, when people started saying, hey, you should eat more vegetables, a vegetarian diet's healthy, that's as soon as people started saying, well, fuck you, I'm going to the Heart Attack Grill. I'm gonna eat the biggest hamburger ever. As soon as people start, talking about climate change, so fuck you. I'm going to drive the biggest truck I possibly can, and I'm going to roll coal, get it to spill out extra carbon. You know why? Because fuck you. That's why. That's just how Americans are. And, you're probably thinking, well, that's just rednecks, right? I'm not a redneck. I don't know. If you're an American, you got a little bit of redneck in you. Heck, even when it comes to one of my pet issues, female superheroes in comic book movies, do you know how many people have come up and told me that they've said, hey, I don't mind female superheroes in movies. I don't got nothing against Captain Marvel or Harley Quinn. until the very second I learned that the social justice warriors were happy about them. The minute some feminist said that Captain Marvel was good, that's the exact second that I said, fuck you. Fuck them female superheroes. Don't call me a sexist. Fuck you. Now I'm going to go eat my giant hamburger and I'm going to go buy a truck that spews out poison. Because fuck you, that's why I ain't never seeing Birds of Prey. I ain't never voting for George McGovern. Goddamn socialist. It's just, I won't lie. America is very frustrating. The other part of this unsolvable problem is that if you want more democratic socialism, if you want universal health care, if you want free college, there's never a right time to do it in America. There never is, because right now, when the economy's good and tax revenues are high, well, then you can't get people to vote for that because they say, you know what, things are good. Why rock the boat? Things are going okay, let's not change anything. And then when, ooh, wow, that guy's an incredible artist. But then, on the other hand, if the economy is bad, like it was in 2008, 2009, you can't get people to vote for change either, because when things are bad, they're like, hey, we just got to get back to right where we were before. Let's not rock the boat. That's just how it always is. It's just a problem in America. It's never time to change things because things are either too good or they're too bad. So, why take the risk? Americans really are pretty risk averse when you think about it, which is not how we think of ourselves, but it's how we are. But, Oh, and as for all the people who say that Bernie can't win, of course Bernie can win. After Obama and Trump, anyone saying this person is not electable is an idiot. I mean, Bernie Sanders is a longtime senator from Vermont. He is, in many ways, a less radical, less risky choice than Obama or Trump. Obama was a young, inexperienced black guy whose middle name was Hussein. Trump is a fucking orange-painted clown with no government experience who's, Donald Trump has like this huge record of failure. He's an absolute idiot. Nobody had any logical reason to think that Trump could do anything that he said. The only thing they liked was that he was saying it. This one never gets old. He wants the fries. He's like, oh, I'm going to get some fries. But fuck you! That's pretty good. I like that. God, what did we ever do before the internet? Seriously. Remember when I told people to calm down over Iowa? The Iowa caucuses? What? The Iowa caucuses? Remember that? 3 weeks ago, people were freaking out because the Democrats had some kind of clusterfuck in the Iowa caucuses. Guess what? Nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody gives a fuck about Iowa. It's done. It's gone. Do you understand why I was telling people to calm down? And when I tell people to calm down, I'm not saying calm down about the election in general. People don't need to calm down. I think Trump is the most dangerous president we've ever had, and you should not lose your passion in defeating him. But yeah, don't calm down when it comes to the election. Defeating Trump is the number one priority, which, even though Bernie Sanders is not my chosen candidate, like I always say, the minute he becomes the nominee, I'm behind him 100%. Just as everyone should have been behind Hillary in 2016, but let's not go through that again. I mean, fuck. Things are so unpredictable. Literally nobody knows what's going to happen by November. For all we know, Trump and Bernie could both be dead by then. They're both old. The fucking coronavirus. And nobody knows how bad the coronavirus is going to be. Nobody knows if it's going to kill people, if it's going to affect the economy. Nobody knows this shit. I mean, 3 weeks before the election in 2016, people were saying, hey, judging by everything we know, Hillary Clinton is going to win. She's going to beat Trump. And then 1 week later, James Comey, that rat fucker, he was pressured by members of the FBI into making his announcement that the FBI is reopening their investigation into Hillary's emails. Hillary, emails. That's all you heard. And that one event that happened 2 weeks before the election was enough to swing it to Trump. If James Comey had not done that, then Hillary Clinton would have gotten a few more votes in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and we'd be sitting here now talking about how the Republicans were idiots to ever nominate Trump, and what does it mean that the Democrats elected the first female president and everything is woke forever now? Can the Republicans ever come back from this? That's what we'd be talking about. So, don't worry about what people say they think is going to happen in November, because nobody fucking knows. Seriously, nobody knows. That's just how it is. DeviantArt. I love DeviantArt. It really just is the greatest website ever. And I'm glad that people are coming back to DeviantArt and saying fuck Tumblr. You know why? Because fuck Tumblr. Tumblr sucks. DeviantArt forever.
Because you want this world to be a new star!
Follow me. We're gonna get out of here, okay?
I don't think so, kids! I just wanted it to look like you burned to death! The heat of my passionate arms will burn all away! Come at me, bro!